The Doctrine of Eclipse in Indian Constitutional Law. What happens when a law conflicts with the Constitution? Does it become automatically invalid, or can it survive, hidden, until the conflict is resolved? Today, we explore the Doctrine of Eclipse, a unique concept in Indian constitutional jurisprudence. What is the Doctrine of Eclipse? The Doctrine of Eclipse states, a law that is inconsistent with fundamental rights is not void ab initio, completely void, but becomes dormant or eclipsed to the extent of the inconsistency. This means the law is temporarily ineffective, but it can become enforceable again if the conflict with the Constitution is removed. Origin of the doctrine. The doctrine emerged from the Supreme Court of India in the case Keshavananda Bharathi versus State of Kerala related to constitutional review and fundamental rights, and was further applied in cases like Bikaji Narayan Rao versus State of Maharashtra and R.C. Cooper versus Union of India. The court held that even if a pre-constitutional law violated fundamental rights after the Constitution came into force, it is not dead, merely eclipsed to the extent of the inconsistency. How it works. Imagine a pre-1950 law allowing discriminatory treatment based on religion. After 1950, Article 14 guarantees equality before law. The old law is inconsistent with Article 14. Under the Doctrine of Eclipse, the law is temporarily inoperative. However, if the law is amended to remove the inconsistency, it regains full effect. It's like a shadow law, visible but temporarily blocked by the Constitution. Key features. 1. Applies only to pre-constitutional laws enacted before the Constitution came into force. 2. Partial invalidity. Only the inconsistent part is eclipsed. The rest of the law can remain operative. 3. Revival possible. Once the conflict is removed, the law can be enforced. 4. Protects parliamentary intent. The doctrine respects the law passed by the legislature, but ensures it does not violate fundamental rights. Example. Suppose a law passed in 1940 restricted certain property rights for a specific community. Post-1950, the law violates Article 19-1-F, right to property. Under the Doctrine of Eclipse, the law cannot be enforced as long as the violation exists. If the law is amended to comply with the Constitution, the law emerges from the eclipse and becomes fully valid. Distinction from Doctrine of Severability. Doctrine of Eclipse. Law becomes dormant due to conflict with fundamental rights. Doctrine of Severability. Only the invalid portions of a law are struck down, the rest remains in force. Eclipse is like temporary darkness, severability is like cutting out the spoils part. Significance. The Doctrine of Eclipse preserves pre-constitutional laws without violating fundamental rights. It balances legislative intent and constitutional supremacy. It provides a practical mechanism for legal continuity and reform. It's a shining example of Indian courts creatively interpreting the Constitution. Closing. In simple terms, a law can be temporarily eclipsed by the Constitution. It's not dead, just waiting for the sun of amendment or conformity to shine upon it. The Doctrine of Eclipse reminds us that constitutional supremacy and legal continuity can coexist. Law can sleep, but it can also rise again.